Today's essay is entitled Soul Asylum. I was reading about the two National Guard troops, one who was killed and one who is grievously injured in Washington, D.C. Well reported, victim of a young man from Afghanistan that helped our troops immensely and clearly had a mental break. And the Trump administration is making all sorts of uh, noises and hue and cry and various levels of silliness about canceling the asylum program in its entirety, which of course would be a mistake. It's tragic what happened. There is no justification for the violence, but the asylum system has served our country well for uh, decades, if not centuries, at least for a long number of years. And if we're going to rely on the assistance of indigenous people when we're in armed conflict, they help us at their own peril, and we owe it to them to keep our word. It's our word used to be our bond. It's a little less so now with the Trump administration and the constant stream of lies, um, and the breakdown in the rule of law. But asylum is important. But I also thought about asylum in another context. And how do we find comfort ourselves, speaking selfishly now after the unnecessary loss of life? How do we go forward in opposition, productively, leading our lives, loving our family, and being hopefully productive members of society, while working towards a shared goal of making sure that such an administration, a fascist regime, cannot, you won't get fooled again, as the WHO reminded us about 55 years ago or so, that Americans voted Donald Trump in twice. There's no reason to try. The third time will not be a charm for this president or for any of his broken fascist white Christian nationalist acolytes. So how do we go forward? And my answer, as it always seems to be, excuse the background noise because I'm sitting outside, a windstorm is a brewing, and it's we're going to have our first maybe single digits overnight, so Fahrenheit. Uh, collective action, collective action. That is what we can do as individual citizens. Is we will continue to make our allow our purchasing decisions to be guided by the behavior of the corporations. When corporations reverse policies on DEI to the detriment of customers and employees, to the detriment of the teams, then the way that we punish them in a nonviolent way is to boycott, is to make our purchasing decisions with that betrayal top of mind. So the well-reported stories of how successful that was with Disney, with well, it's really blowing, with uh, Target, uh, tremendous impact, tremendous impact. And that's something we can each do. It feels like we're pulling together as a team, achieving a goal. And that's a unifying theme that we can all take a great deal of pride in. So keep that in mind. And I'll publish a little bit more towards this weekend about updated lists of companies and their alleged offenses, and then you can make your own decisions. Is it Starbucks? Is it Dunkin' Donuts support of the Trump administration? Is it uh, you've heard of AI? You've heard of the Google machine. The information's out there. I'll provide a little bit over the weekend, but yeah. So that's collective action. Uh, so that's the soul in the asylum, if you will. That what we can do to feel good about our part in resistance to authoritarianism, fascism. I think communism's taken, even though the behavior with the Trump administration taking a stake in various companies is more in the fascistic mode. I think communism will be reserved for unhinged right wing members of the legislature because soon enough Zoran Mamdani will be taking office, and they won't know what to do with themselves if Donald Trump continues to do the right thing and work hand in hand with the mayor of New York to protect and promote the well-being of a city that they both love or both profess to love. I know on Mr. Mamdani's part, it is in fact genuine. So, soul asylum, soul asylum, and then the other part of collective action I was thinking about today. I want Donald Trump to live a long and fruitful life. I hope he lives to be 100 by the grace of God or whoever, God, Buddha, or whoever's running the place this week. I'd love him to be out of office tomorrow. Not going to happen. We have to think about 3 more years, back to collective action, what we can do to keep the pressure on the corporations that can, if they choose, not in the corporations behaving in the very cowardly way that Apple, Mark Zuckerberg at Meta, and a number of other. Jeff Bezos is not doing a great job, not a great deal of distinction. Do they have business in front of the government? Yes, they do. Do they have a responsibility to their shareholders? To an extent. But as I was writing earlier today, I've been wiping my ass with the pages of Milton Friedman's textbooks for 50 years. It's not everything. Shareholder value, important, but not at the expense of being a good human. And that's what's happening right now. So, what can we do? Here's a fun class exercise. You can help me. I can help you. And this is an exercise that can continue for years if there's some buy-in. I was thinking, what would I write upon the news, hopefully in 20 years? How would I write the epitaph to Donald Trump's life? What would be on his tombstone? That short couple few sentences that encapsulates what he has done for humanity. I presume that he'll be buried perhaps next to his first wife, Ivana, who was buried on the fairway of Bedminster Golf Course at Donald Trump's country club in New Jersey. Um, I won't disparage the dead because I never met the beautiful lady. I would have hoped that she would have been treated with more dignity. Just me. So let's assume that eventually Donald will be buried next to his first beloved. And what would his tombstone read? I'm going to, in the feed, I'm going to give a couple examples of what I thought of, and I'll let you all do the same because it doesn't have to be mean. I hope it's clever. I hope mine are clever. I hope you will find them entertaining or clever. Insightful is probably pushing it a little bit, but it would be a fun way to share ideas in an absurd sense, not celebrating death. We can say celebrating life and all of the value that DJT has brought to our lives, to our country, to pool girls, masseuses, if that's a plural, multiple, you get the picture. I'll have to look that one up. They're Latin. Yeah. The value that he has brought to you as a person, to you as an American, to you as a lover of democracy, you could write that in a pithy epitaph that would say, much like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Donald J. Trump, who it seemed would never leave the White House, has finally left us for greener pastures. May his memory be a blessing. So that was kind of sweet. But I will workshop that a little bit. But I would encourage anyone that that views my this daily essay to please take a shot. There's no wrong answers. It doesn't have to be today, but I'm going to be adding ideas because I'm sure, because how my aged and somewhat twisted brain works, I'm going to think of a lot of them, and some of them might not be really all that sweet, but I'm going to try to make sure that they're fun because we can have fun with that in the spirit of collective action, something we can do together and have a little engagement with each other, follow back, like, do whatever those things are. Always, as we're doing, is restacking to support each other's work and support the platform. So yeah, I thought that would be fun. Almost going into the weekend, that would be a great take home school project that you could think about what you would like to see written on hopefully in 25 years when Donald Trump leaves this realm. What will be written on that piece of marble? In hopefully the marble doesn't say MAGA, but what will be written on that piece of marble that's probably going to be resting in New Jersey? So, in any case, much appreciated. Kindly do all those restack, subscribe, tell two friends, off platform, whatever. and we'll be back with you tomorrow sometime. Maybe I'll have to go inside because it's not supposed to get out of the 20s Fahrenheit. Wishing you all a beautiful day and thank you for your time.